Recording. Okay. All right. So welcome to finding how to attract dream clients that you love, right? That's the name of this presentation. And so even if you have a business that you run right now, maybe you're thinking of starting a business or you're kind of in the beginning phases of a business, this is hopefully going to help you be able to get even deeper in how you can attract your dream clients. The reason I'm talking about this topic today is because I have been asked by a lot of my clients. I'm working with clients, but they're kind of draining, or I'm trying all these things and nothing seems to be working to attract my clients. So, how do you help me with this? So when I see that multiple people are asking me the same question, and that's how I come up with, well, what am I going to talk about? So since you're here today, I'd love for you to put in the chat box, what do you want to receive from today's masterclass? Because as some of you may know, I was a teacher before, and I like to make sure that you have received something of value for your time today. And since you're here live, I'd love for you to put in the chat box what you want to receive today. What are you hoping to get out of our time together? And so if you write that in the meantime, I will start sharing. Okay. So how to attract dream clients you love. And I call this the foundation for entrepreneurial success. A lot of times when people start their businesses, they start from a passion or they just start it. And then after a little bit of time, there can be questioning happening or they get tired or burnt out. And so coming to this way of attracting clients from a conscious place makes a huge difference as to how much flow there is and more conscious work that you have in your life. So that's why I'm asking you to even start that process even more when by you writing in the chat box what you want to receive, because we want to set those intentions as we move forward in our days and our businesses. If we do not have an intention that we're setting, our subconscious mind will set that intention for us, right? It will be based on our conditioning. It will be based on what we've experienced in the past, what we've been exposed to. So I'm going to invite you to set intentions for what you want to receive today consciously. And I think, yes, I'm starting to see some intentions here. Okay. How to limit becoming emotionally drained with clients. Okay. Love that. Learning how to understand my strengths and what I can do to attract more clients. Okay. Those are all things that I will make sure that we get to today. So with that intention, if you are in a place that, I'll get to this in a minute. You're in a place that you can move around. We will be getting up in a minute. And if you can actually do this in your mind. I like to start with some actual exercises to get you in that mind space to receive and actually open up the possibilities of your mind. But before I do that, I want to talk about why should you listen to me? Like, who am I, right? Some of you know me, some of you don't. So my name is Kavita Mawani, and I'm a spiritual success and business coach. And I use the term spiritual on purpose because I believe that everything is connected and we're all connected. And so in the way that I coach people in their businesses and their success, it comes from that. I do teach practical strategies, but the way that I have found that my clients have the most success is if we embrace all of it, right? And so I've had clients that have wanted to work with me, but they're like, I'm not really spiritual. And so there are a lot of other coaches, but that is basically how I approach coaching. I like to approach coaching from the sense of the holistic perspective as well, our mind, our body, and our spirit. And so sometimes you'll find coaches that are really focused on strategy, and sometimes you'll find holistic coaches. So I fit in that kind of type of coach where I like to look at the whole situation and the whole person, and even respecting their cultural backgrounds, because I am a first generation um, American and of an Indian descent. And then I grew up in South Texas, so surrounded by different cultures. My whole life trying to kind of feel, where do I fit in and all of that. So really do take that also into account when I work with clients. And so I've been in the coaching industry since 2014. I have lots of training and certifications, and I identify as an empath, intuitive, and also introverted. So doing things like this, way out of my comfort zone, but I love teaching and I want people to grow and learn. And my vision is to help as many people as I can to have their purposeful and profitable businesses. And so more importantly than all this stuff is that I've been where you are, most likely been exactly where you are. Whatever struggle you're experiencing, I've experienced that to some degree. And so I can feel that at a level, and I have tried so many different strategies, work with many different coaches, and continue to invest to learn and grow. So what I'm sharing with you today is taking all of that and hopefully shortening the path that you have to attract your dream clients. Okay, what am I going to talk about in this class? So you may have seen some of the graphics. This comes from the emails you received and everything. So I'm going to talk about 3 key steps that you must take to attract your dream clients. We will do 2 powerful exercises today. And I will also talk about the common challenges that spiritual entrepreneurs face when they're running their businesses. Like, what are the things that I've seen, experienced, and others have experienced that I've worked with? You will also learn this aligned way to attract your dream clients. And my goal is for you to leave with a loose roadmap today, because we don't have that much time, but taking the pieces from what I share today, you can start to create that roadmap. Okay. If you stay till the end, I will do some coaching and answer your questions. And as you can imagine, that I'm offering this for free for all of you, and I want to come from a place of service. And there will be an offer at one point during this class. So I like to be completely transparent about that. All right. So know that you're in the right place. This is the right class for you if you're not attracting your dream clients on a consistent basis. Okay, so if that's you, you feel confused or overwhelmed when it comes to running your business, all the marketing, the content, there's all the things that it takes to run your business. You have a deep calling and know you are providing valuable work in the world. Okay. And so that know you're providing valuable work in the world may be a I'm not sure piece sometimes. A lot of my clients experience some imposter syndrome. And so they feel the sense of like, I know I'm providing valuable work, but do I know enough and all of that? So even if you don't completely identify, well, like, I know I'm doing valuable work, there's a part of you that does know that you're doing valuable work in the world. And you want to and are ready to learn to take actions so that you can attract those dream clients. Okay, so that's if you said yes to any of those things, then you are in the right place today. Okay, so let's start with that exercise I mentioned in the beginning. If you are in a place that you can walk around, then go ahead and stand up. And if you're not, like I said, you can do this in your mind's eye. Okay. So imagine yourself in where you are right now in your business, whether you're beginning or you've been doing this for a few years, or wherever you are in your business. I want you to imagine yourself in that place, wherever you're standing, if you can stand up, if not in your mind. How is your business on a daily basis? How are the clients that you're attracting? What are you feeling? And so now I want you to connect with your intention of what you want your business to be. What is that you would love to create in your business, create in your life? What would that look like? So I want you to take one step forward and imagine you stepping in to that vision of what you want to create. So take a few moments and really imagine that. Really feel this business that you wanted to create, that you want to create. What does it look like? What does it feel like? How do you feel when you work with your clients? And now I want you to take one more step forward and expand that vision even more. So whatever that look like, whatever it is that you want to create, what you feel yourself creating for you, stepping one more step forward. And in that step, you're stepping into a version of your purposeful and profitable business that's beyond your wildest dreams. You have a clear message, your dream clients are coming to you, you feel aligned, you feel connected, you feel excited. I want you to really feel that in your body. Feel that that is possible for you right now. And so I'm going to, be quiet for one more moment. Allow yourself to really feel and see yourself there. Take another breath. And whenever you're ready, coming back and being present and opening your eyes. Good. I'd love to hear from you. What did you receive? What did you receive from that exercise? What did you feel? And so if you would like, do you want to share? Oh, but Bettina, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. But
No, you got it right.
Okay, great. Yes. So what did you receive?
Um, I received energy. Like I was just very aware that the energy in my physical body was much more alive and active. Like I felt a pulsing sensation. Um, and that was the biggest thing. Like I've already visioned what I want in my business.
Okay.
So it was more just I
Mhm.
just felt like powerfully aligning to how I would feel with it becoming.
Okay, I love that, right? And so that's part of when you're creating what you want is, yes, we can use our head. So I'm a person that may or may not know based on what you see, but I tend to go straight to the logical thoughts first of like, what are the details of what will look like, right? And then can often run away from the feeling part of it, but really feeling that is key as you move forward. So thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else want to share what they received? You can share in the chat box. You don't have to, open your camera up or whatever. So Yes, Trisha. Yes, I'd love to hear, what did you receive?
So I had a vision of a circle of people
Mhm.
and myself with a variety of different people that I've either worked with in the past or in the future, or just potential, I don't even know who they were.
Yes.
But there was a lightness, there was a trust, and there was also um, empowerment on the part of my clients. That they actually owned their actions. And a lot of times what I find is that um, my client's emotional state mean that results in them not really stepping in and doing the things that will benefit them. And
Mhm.
then I end up stepping more into kind of like maybe taking a little bit too much ownership, or you know what I mean? There's a gap
Yes.
between
Yeah.
what they do and what I do, and that sense of them being a partner and really following through with what they um, know is the steps to do, but are hard steps for them to do.
Yeah. So they say they want something, you're guiding them to the next steps, and then they don't always take those next steps.
Right.
And so then you step in and almost want to do it for them.
Hmm.
So now you're seeing those clients where they're the dream clients are actually taking those steps.
Right.
Okay.
More ownership, more of
More
a
ownership, more like that, because we can say we want to change something, as you know, right? But to actually take the steps to make those changes takes a lot of courage. So, yeah, thank you for sharing that.
sure.
Okay, so yes, and the feeling is so important. As you move forward, as we're continuing with this, I want you to remember what you felt in that exercise. As you're moving in through your business on a daily basis, even if, and especially when it gets difficult. Okay, so you can really come back to this exercise at any time that you would like, right? So imagine yourself stepping into your business. What would that feel like? What would that look like? And as you are taking steps, okay? So even if that's all you leave today, yay, but there's more. Okay, so we're going to talk about the three key steps right now. Okay, so some of the things you may have heard before, I'm going to give you hopefully a different way to look at it, and maybe help you get a little bit deeper. Okay, so the first step is going to be a very kind of almost feeling just logical step. Okay, and that is one of the keys is to have a defined niche. So before you roll your eyes, before you say, I don't want to listen to the rest of this, I will talk about more things, okay? Because I know that when I tell people a defined niche, they can often feel like, oh, I'm so tired of hearing about a niche or a niche or whatever, right? So there's a reason, right? So I chose this image on purpose because you can see that this person is walking through and there's a lot of noise. I felt it like it was a lot of noise around them, but they're really clear about the direction, the keyhole, right, of where they need to go. And so that's what having a real clear niche can not just do for you as you're talking to people, as you market, but it also is really clear to your client where they need to go. And so having a niche, even though it can be difficult, there are lots of things that come up when I tell people this. So here are some of the things that come up for people when we talk about this, when I work with my clients on their niche. Right. Oh, yeah. Bettina says, I do have a niche. I was resistant now. Okay. You're so thrilled. Okay. Thank you. Yes. So some validation. So some things that come up, doubts, fears. Can you really help others with this particular thing? What if I pick the wrong niche? Will I limit myself and who I can help? Is there a demand for my niche? Will I be successful? And I didn't put everything on here because it'd be way too many things to read. But some other things are I'm going to get bored, right? I don't want to talk about the same things all the time. Or I want to help everyone. Okay, so I'd love for you to share in the chat right now. What are some thoughts? And these are mainly thoughts, but maybe some fears, feelings that come up for you when you were picking your niche or when you come to refine it. Because this is the thing, I'll tell you that once you pick something and you start to market, you may refine it. You may change it a little bit as you're going, and that's okay. Okay, so I'd love to hear if you could write what are some of the things that came up for you as you were picking or when you're thinking about a niche. Okay. All right, next thing. So I like to talk about a niche. I was told this recently. I did a class a couple months ago on finding your niche. And some of the feedback I received was they didn't realize the niche could be so multi-layered, right? And multifaceted. They thought that it was just one aspect, right? And it's almost oversimplified. And so the niche has several parts. Okay. And I'm going to talk more about that today. So the first part is who you actually serve, right? Who is that person? And maybe it's like you mainly work with women, or you prefer working with teenagers, or you work with men, like that kind of, and maybe will I work with all genders, or I work with, it's who is that? The next part of it, which is often the one that can be easy for some, but difficult for some, is the challenge or transformation that you provide. So what happens often when people market their businesses, they market whatever they do, right? It is like, oh, I'm a this type of coach. Just like I said, I'm a spiritual success coach. Okay, great. So what do you help me do? Right? Or something else that people can say is that I've worked with someone that has a couple of clients that have tutoring businesses. So I tutor. Well, why would they want your tutoring? Right? What is that going to help them with? Is it going to be more confidence? Is it going to help them have better grades? Are you going to prepare them for exams? Like, what is your tutoring actually going to help them with? Right? And the last part, especially if you're just starting out, is who you actually have a network with already. So who is it that you already know? Okay. So these are the aspects of a niche. And some of these may come to you immediately and some may not. But I want to share a story. Okay. And I love to share stories because I believe, and I know that we learn through stories. Okay. So I had a client who has a lot of experience in the nonprofit world, right? And so she came to me because she's actually starting a coaching business and I'm helping her launch that. And she did not want to have anything to do with the nonprofit world. Okay, because she said she was burnt out. She left it for a reason. And she didn't want to, and she was very resistant. Okay, so I let that be. And we continued to coach and work on the aspects of her business. And then she came forward in one session the other day and said, oh, I met a former colleague somewhere and mentioned what I was doing. And they wanted to have a conversation about it. Right. And so that was like my opening, right, to coach her through that. So we worked through some of her resistance, some of the subconscious and some of the conscious resistance. And now she is utilizing that network as a starting point for her business because it's appropriate for what she's sharing with the world. And so that is part of her niche, right? That is part of the way that she's going to market, because the difference she wants to make in the world has to do with the burnout in social work and the nonprofit world. Okay, so you see how that kind of goes together. And and I see in the chat, that Trisha says, initially 5 years ago, when I identified my niche, it was invigorating. Now I feel frustrating with some of the repetitive issues. Okay, So then it might be time to kind of revisit a little bit. Maybe there's different aspect of this that you want to do, right? Maybe there's a different aspect of your niche. So, maybe look at this through like kind of a beginner's mind, which is hard with someone with, your years of experience, right? So start to look at this, like if I could start my business all over again, who would I work with? What is the challenge that I really am excited today to help with? And who do I know, right? And so this is kind of how I picture it. I picture the niche. You can see the niche is in the middle, right? So we take aspects of the network, the transformation, who you serve, and the intersecting parts of that are your niche. Okay. And so oftentimes when I've learned about niche in the past, we would work on the who you serve or transformation, right? And wouldn't consider this. Doesn't mean you have to do it that way, but it's something to really consider. And so I want to share one more story of why this is important. Okay. And let's think about something we all do in some way, shape, or form, and that is shopping. Okay. So let's think about shopping and maybe even think about something specific that you need right now. So if you're going shopping for something really specific, you most likely are thinking about, well, which store would have this item, right? And, I know a lot of us will go to Amazon, right? So maybe it's Amazon, maybe it's a department store, maybe it's Walmart, maybe it's Target, whatever that store is. You go there specifically for that item. Okay. And then you purchase, you go there to buy that item, you know why you're there. So you're actually going towards that. So that's one aspect of shopping. Okay. So now what about a broader part of shopping? Okay. So you go shopping and you need let's say a dress for something or any type of formal attire. Okay. And so then you decide that you need that, but you're not sure where. You're not sure which store to go to. So maybe you go to some place where you can find other things, right? So you can find like a shopping mall or something like that, right? Where you have multiple options, multiple places that you can go to. Okay. All right. And so how do you do that shopping? How do you look? Right? You will go to places that you think have that item, right? And so think about this in your business, right? Do your clients look for you specifically when you need help and when your clients need help? Are they looking for something really specific, right? And they come to you for that? Is it more of like this broader kind of idea of, well, I'm like, dresses, and that's what I do. And so they will probably then, like this person, the example I gave of shopping, probably have more choices, okay, of where they can get that item, get those services. And then let's think of the last scenario. Okay. You're going to the mall. You need some clothes. Okay. And so you just go to many different stores and maybe you get a t-shirt here, maybe you get a pair of pants here, maybe you get, a pair of earrings here, whatever. Right. And so you're buying all these things. You don't have a specific purpose. You just need a few things. Okay. And so think of that in the realm of services. When a person is in a place that they actually don't know what they need or they need multiple things, does the service you provide kind of fit in that category? And so I see this a lot in like the general coaching world or general massage therapist or a general tutoring business, right? It's like, yeah, they know they need kind of tutoring. And there's so many aspects of tutoring. There's reading tutoring, there's writing tutoring, there's test prep, there's, even help with essay writing. There's so many aspects of tutoring, right? So as a service provider, where do you fit? Okay, right now. And in that realm, when you figure out where you are right now, then think about how easy it is for people to find you. Okay. So in the first example I gave, which is like, I need this specific item, I know which store to go to, and I go and get that. Or are you more of like the general, like I help people realm, and they kind of go and you may be one of them. So nothing is wrong with any of those, by the way. It's important to know where you are. Okay, that's kind of telling you where you are in your niche. It's just, I'm giving you the story so you have a different way and a different perspective to look at it. And so oftentimes people will move between those things, and that's okay, right? And so maybe you start with more general and you are able to then work with people, and then you figure out what you enjoy more. Okay. And then you get even more clear and you're like, I really just want to focus mainly on this. Or you start really focused and you realize, oh, there's so much more I want to do, and you stay somewhere in the middle. The marketing challenges, though, for each of those are a little different. Okay. If you're really clear, you can see if you're really clear about what you offer and is very specific, it is much easier to come up with where your client is, how to market, what to talk to, who you're talking to, right? Where if it's more general, it's a little bit more difficult, right? And so there's ways to do that as well. Okay. I just want you to broaden that perspective of what a niche is, figure out exactly where you are right now, and maybe where you want to go next, right? If you're somewhere in the middle, do you want to be more defined? Do you want people to be really clear about what you do and who you, and the way that you serve them? Or do you want to broaden up a little bit? Okay, so just really sit with that for a moment so you know. So when you know this, you can see how attracting the dream clients with this clarity is a really key step. Okay, so step number 2, all right, is marketing aligned with your strengths. So you can see I chose this picture on purpose. I'm a visual person, and she's drinking something, maybe tea, coffee, I don't know. It looks like an espresso to me, it's so tiny. And then she has all these things around her, okay? And so a lot of the people that I work with, the clients that I work with, they're doing all these things. They're marketing in all these ways, or they're picking something to market on with, or a way to market, and it's misaligned. And so instead of really examining what they're doing to market their business, they just continue to add and add and add. And then it looks kind of like this picture, right? And so it's so important. There's so many ways to build a business. There's so many ways to build a business. And I want to repeat that because often you will hear out there in this world of online businesses and service-based businesses that there's a specific way that you need to do this. Okay, and this is the formula, and this is how you should do it. The ideal way to build a business is to know what your strengths are. Okay, and then from there, choose offline, online marketing, mix of both. You may do some advertising. You may do some networking, either through traditional networking events or ways to network. And then the secret formula is based on you. The secret formula is taking all of this, taking your strengths, taking what you enjoy doing, and from there, marketing and creating a plan. Okay. And because there's a lot of noise and a lot of people telling you that there's one way to do things. So like I said, shared in the beginning, I consider myself an introvert, tend to be the quiet one in the room. I'm not the loudest in the room. And, I've had to learn to come out of that kind of shell, right? To be with people, to talk to people more. And one of my strengths is that I am able to see a person and connect with them and have a deep connection, like a true connection. And so it comes so easy to me that I forget that that's one of my strengths. So take a moment now and think about for yourself, what are some strengths that you have? And if you're not sure, even think about it in this way. What are some things that come so easily to you that you could do it in your sleep, right? Like you just show up in the world this way. Your strengths are exactly that, right? They're exactly those things that you do without even thinking. There are the things that you do that come easily to you, right? And so remember I said I like to tell stories. Okay, so I am going to tell you about another client. Okay, so I had a client who was starting his business, and he found out about Facebook ads. And so he said, well, I'm going to be doing Facebook ads. So, if a client really wants to do something, I'm not going to stop them. And so I actually recommended some resources for him to learn how to do the Facebook ads. And so we worked on, what's his budget and all those things. And he started to do the Facebook ads. And he came back to me during our next session and said, well, they're working, I'm getting people, but they're not clicking. So we went through and figured out how to make them better. And then as we were doing that, he talked about some things happening at work because he's also working at a job right now while he's transitioning into this business. And went back to our conversation about his strengths. And one of his strengths is similar to mine. One of the strengths that I shared is that he's really able to connect deeply with people. And so for him, Facebook ads, I'm not saying are not beneficial, but his fastest way to be able to attract his clients using his strengths is through meeting people, because he's able to connect with people. So then we figured out some strategies, and he found out about an event where he could have kind of a table at a school, and we worked on strategies to make it most effective. And he was able, after that, to book some assessments, because that's how his business works. He was able to book some assessments, and I asked him how it felt. How did he enjoy that? And it was so much more satisfying and he felt enjoyment, right, of that. Yes, he was nervous to talk to people, and there was some attachment to the results, all of that. But really, he felt the sense of like, I could do that, and I could do it over and over again. Okay. And so that's how I want you to feel about the way that you're marketing. I want you to feel like I could do that. It's out of my comfort zone a little bit, right? I'm just stretching myself. I'm opening up the possibilities, but I'm using my strengths. I'm using what I'm already good at. And so when we function in the way that's aligned with our strengths, it's much easier. We have more energy. We're able to accomplish a lot more also. And not only accomplish a lot more, but accomplish it in a way that is alignment with who we are, and work can feel more fun, right? So now taking your niche, whatever part of the niche you're in, taking your strengths, and then creating a plan that takes all of that into account, okay, is so important for you to be able to attract your dream clients. Okay. Once you have an idea of who your clients are, you create that client avatar, the person that you're speaking to, and you can think about where they are, right? You can do some ideal client interviews. Okay. And I know some people use that as a way to sell their services. I don't like to do that. I like to actually have a line of like, this is just, I just want to find out, tell me a little bit more about you. What are the things that you like? Where do you hang out? What do you look for when you need help? Right. And so you can use that and then match it with your strengths to create a marketing plan and use your network. Okay. And then those are keys to then attract your dream clients. And then eventually, depending on what part of your business you're in, you could work on creating your own community. Okay. But trying to do all of it all at once is probably going to be exhausting. Okay. So when I work with clients, it's really important we work on figuring out what their strengths are, figuring out, and we do some assessments too, but also more of those exercises of what comes easy to me. Okay. And then we also work on the client avatar and different ways to come up with who your ideal client is. And then we take that and create a marketing plan for them. Okay. So taking all of that, the third key to being able to attract your dream clients is your subconscious mind, or knowing your mind. Okay, knowing what's in your mind. Well, how do you really feel? What are your thoughts? And what even are your thoughts that are underneath the thoughts, which are you pushed away, your subconscious, based on your conditioning and your programming? And so I love this quote from Carl Jung, which is, "The world will ask you who you are. And if you don't know, the world will tell you." Okay. And so this idea of we've been conditioned since childhood to believe certain things about the world. It's like our lens that we look at the world through. And as we've got older, there's a sense of questioning that can happen of, well, I thought this is how it worked, but does it? Right. And so those kind of questioning aspects. And then when you're in that place, working on what is underneath all of that. So I can give you an example. Okay. So I had a client who was basically doing the things. We created the marketing plan. They were doing and implementing the marketing, but they were not really getting the results that they wanted. Okay. So your results are the key to what's actually in your mind. Okay, so that's the thing. Whatever your results are right now, that's in your mind. So whether it's conscious or subconscious. Okay, so then that is an opportunity to work and go deeper into underneath what is there. So the conditioning that we have comes from what we think is possible, who we believe we are, what we believe about work, right? What we believe about having a business, right? All the things. And if we want to learn more, even more about our subconscious mind, look at the things in the world, the people in the world, especially entrepreneurs that trigger you. Okay. So doing that work to see that is so important. Okay. So I'll tell you a little bit about how this showed up for me, and maybe that'll help you see more for yourself. So I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs, and they immigrated to the US to open businesses, which is, uh, which is often different than a lot of the people of Indian descent that come to the US. A lot of people come to the US because of jobs, right? And careers. My family, my parents are actually high school educated. And they came because they came from a family, a line of business owners. And their type of businesses were all brick and mortar businesses, and, following those things where you open a business where there was foot traffic, where people would walk, right? And, you based your business on what people would buy. Okay. And when they came here, they did not have much. They had very little money. And so I saw my parents struggle for years. I saw them working really hard, working really long hours. And eventually, I remember probably around 14 years old, I noticed that we started to have a little bit more money, right? And they were starting to make some money. And so when they started to make this money, things started to change. We moved into a nice big house when I was, 15, almost 16. And there was the sense of, okay, my parents made it now, right? They made it, they worked hard, they got here. And then after that, we had a lot of challenges, a lot of people that were jealous, and we had people that would, that wanted to take advantage of my parents and borrow money from them. And they have big hearts and they often will lend money. And then if they didn't continue to lend money, they would stop speaking to them. So lots of things that have happened and they continue to deal with. So there was a point where I didn't realize how much this was impacting, because consciously I was, yeah, I'm going to work hard. I'm going to succeed in my businesses, and I have. And I would get to a certain point and not move past that. Okay. And so that point I would be stuck. And so I worked with with my coach, and learned more about the subconscious mind, more about Jung and his theories. And we did some more shadow work. And I realized first I had the insight that, oh, because if I'm successful, then people are going to take advantage of me. If I'm successful, that's visibly successful, then I might lose my friends and my family won't talk to me. And if I am visibly successful to that degree, what would I have to give up? Okay. And so that was there, and it was impacting how far I would get in my business. Right. And I would get to a certain point and then I would go back. And I would get to a certain point and go back. And until I addressed this that was in my subconscious mind, was I able to continue to move forward in my business. Okay. And so I want this for you. I want you to be able to have your business, to move past the conditioning so that you can create your purposeful and profitable business. Okay. So let's take a moment. I've been talking a lot. And if you need to, stand up and stretch or whatever you need to do, I still have some more things to share with you. Like I said, I've shared the 3 keys. I want to do at least one more exercise with you today, and also share some of the pitfalls, okay, and give you kind of like how you can leave with somewhat of a roadmap, okay? So we still have a lot to share. And so taking a few breaths and, standing up if you need to, whatever you need to. Okay? And so the next thing I'm going to do is share if you want to work on these things, if you want to go forward with what I've shared today, I want to talk about what your options are if you are interested in working with me. So my program is called Hiding to Shining. It's a 6-month program for soulful entrepreneurs to create their purposeful and profitable businesses. Okay. And I'll tell you a little bit about it. I don't want to spend a bunch of time right now on this, but I want to give you some background. And then if you are interested in working in that will be a really small group or I also have 2 spots opening up next month for one-on-one coaching. If that's something that you're interested in, then I will put a link for you to book a call. It's a no obligation call. We can talk about where you are in your business and what you want to create next. And so my hope is that even from that call, you receive some value. Okay. And so why would you do this? Okay. So what I've seen is that when empathic, soulful entrepreneurs commit to investing in themselves with an aligned coach, because I've had misaligned coaches as well, they can accelerate the results in an aligned way. Okay. And when they commit to themselves, because when you're committing to coaching with me, you're not committing to me, you're committing to yourself. When they're committing to getting support for themselves, a few things happen. They're able to connect to their true desires and feel empowered. They have a clear vision of what they want to create, and we work on creating that together. They're able to craft a business with a solid foundation, all while feeling safe, seen, and heard, because that's so important. I've been in programs where I'm one of the, many people. And remember, I said I'm introverted and I'm empathic. So often what happens to me is I'll show up in the program super excited because and then I'll start to retreat into myself because it's a lot for me. So what I heard from my clients is if they're going to have a group, they want a small group. So I'm limiting the first round of this to 8 people maximum. Okay. The other thing that happens when I work with clients, they feel less isolated and more confident. They also are more confident about what they're offering and whom they're offering it to, and they're able to attract more of their dream clients. And most importantly, they're able to run a purposeful, profitable business aligned with their soul. So this is if you're feeling stuck, or even if you know of someone that's feeling stuck, disconnected, overwhelmed, maybe you've lost your passion or motivation for your business. I warmly invite you to even just a conversation. The program's called Hiding to Shining. And if you have a deep inner calling to serve, if you feel like you're working all the time and not getting the results, if you're confused or overwhelmed in your business, and you're ready to attract your dream clients, then I'm going to invite you. So I'm going to put, I don't know if it's possible, with the slides so I'll put this in the chat box for you. This is the link to book a call. Okay, and I'll share a little bit more because I think that's fair. So I've designed this program in a way that that are chakras. Remember I said I'm a spiritual coach. You can see I love the chakras. I'm also a Reiki master. I have all that training, right? So I bring all that into my program. So these are the chakras, and these are also related to what you will learn in the program. Okay, so the first chakra is about your niche and your purpose. So it creates the grounding. The first chakra is the bottom, the sacral chakra, right? And then the second chakra is about creating. So based on what we come up with as your niche purpose, you start to create your programs. I see as the ideal client avatar. Okay. Then we do branding, strength, and using your strengths. Okay. I have some assessments, branding with your archetypes, that we can start to create your branding. And then your marketing plan is your power. Oh, I put power twice. That's actually your heart. So that's a typo. Fifth chakra is your voice, is that implementation, right? And the sixth chakra is your subconscious and your mind. So like really honing into your intuition. So you make decisions in your business based on your intuition and not based on what other people tell you should do. And the seventh chakra, which is the crown chakra, which is about success mindset and connections. And so, creating that for yourself. Now, I know that some people really want to generate income immediately. So I don't want you to think that you're going to just learn all these things and you're not going to generate income. I want you to generate income whenever you actually, probably before you're ready. Okay. So I'll give you the story of Ava. I changed her name for this, for privacy purposes. But this is the thing. I want you to succeed and start making money now. If we're not going to work one-on-one, if you're going to work through the small group, then that starts in July. Okay. And so as a bonus for everybody that's here and even listening to the recording, I'm going to offer a 90-minute one-on-one intensive to just get you to dive deeper into your business, to get you started so you can start to generate income already. Okay. And so that's if you decide to enroll in the program. So you could just book the 30-minute call with me. We can talk about where you are. If you decide to move forward with the program, then I don't want you to wait till July, right? I want you to get started and start to make those changes immediately. Okay. So I'm offering you this 90-minute call, which I don't do very often. Okay. But if you're willing to invest in yourself and trust yourself, then that's my gift to you. Okay. And so I'll tell you the story of Ava. Okay, so actually she came to me even before starting a business. So she wanted to be able to just live in her purpose, and just felt like she knew she wanted to help people, but she didn't know how. And she knew she wanted a business. Okay, so she came to me knowing she wanted a business. She didn't know what exactly that was or what it would look like. So we worked together, and she actually decided to go into coaching. She decided to be a life coach. She did also want to have a certification. She felt that would be really in alignment and of integrity for herself. So we looked for programs, and she did that. She was doing her coach training. And then I helped her create her first niche. And then also from there, her first program and her first 3 clients while we worked together. Okay. And so the first few clients, for some people, come like this. And for some people, it's a lot harder. Okay. And so now we continue to work together. And with the next level now is she's ready to raise her prices now. She's ready to raise her prices, and she's ready to tweak her niche a little bit. Because as she's worked with these clients and she's getting paid to work in this way, she realized that maybe she wants to change a few things, right? And so through that actual forward action, she's able to create this business for herself. And it was while she was doing her coach training. So she did not wait till she was certified. So I want to make that clear too. Because I believe that you can earn money as you are creating. You don't have to wait. Okay. So, and actually that will help with your creation. All right. So one more chance. You see, oh, here's the bonus. Okay. If you book the call today, right, then I will offer you that bonus if you decide to enroll in the program. Okay. So I'd love to connect if there's any little part of you that wants to work together. All right. So let me continue. All right. Let's do our next exercise. Okay, so if you're in a place that you can, I want you to take some deep breaths. I'm going to actually use this. Hopefully it's not too loud. Okay. Taking a few deep breaths. You've been listening a lot to this class and hopefully learning a lot and taking it all in. So I want you to bring that awareness now to your whole being as we do this next exercise. So imagine a lighthouse standing strong and tall on the rocky shore of a beautiful harbor. The water is calm, the sky is blue, and many boats are out to sea. But off in the distance, a storm cloud is forming, and it approaches the shore very quickly. The sky is getting darker, the waves are getting stronger, and many of the boats are being tossed about on the water. As the rain and the wind pick up strength, the power of the beam of light emanating from the lighthouse increases. The darker the skies become, the brighter the light shines to provide safety and security in the midst of the storm. Notice that not all the boats need this beam of light to guide them to safety. Some have more confident captains and crews, and some are fully equipped to manage through storms safely and effectively. But now imagine the lighthouse gets upset because some of the boats are choosing to follow their own path. The lighthouse feels that it is not successful if its light is not guiding all of the boats in the sea. It sprouts arms and legs and runs up and down the beach, acting like a searchlight, doing its best to catch the attention of all the boat captains, attempting to encourage more of them to depend on its light. What do you think would be the result? The boats now that were depending on the steady, constant stream of light to guide them could be damaged or destroyed. Other boats might be steered dangerously close to shore, so others would be perfectly content to stay where they are. The result is few boats would be served well or at all by the lighthouse. So ask yourself this after that image, that vision. How are you acting in your business? Are you acting like the lighthouse standing securely on the shore, attracting and safely guiding boats or the customers that need your business with your light? How often do you run up and down the beach frantically, looking for customers to serve? And perfect customers are most likely to find you if you are a strong and steady light. So take a moment, answer that question for yourself. Where are you with that? I'd love to hear from you. If you want to speak and share your truth, you can do that. If not, you can share in the chat box. Honestly, where are you? Where is your gap in providing that strong, steady light and some of the 3 keys that I shared with you today? Is it the niche? Is it marketing more aligned with your strengths? Is it knowing your mind? What aspect? Where is your gap? And maybe it's more than one of those places, but maybe one place stands out. And so, as I said, if you're creating a roadmap for yourself, I want you to start with that. So if it's mindset, right? If for you, it's the mindset, it's about, if I'm seeing the results that I don't like, then that's your mindset. So that's where you start. And so I want you to draw that first. And then from there, draw what aspects of that mindset you need to work on. Okay. And so I love to, oh, thank you. I'm seeing some comments now, like the lighthouse image. Great. Oh, I'm on the beach trying to save most of the people who come to me. Okay. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. It's really important. When we're honest with ourselves, then as you know, we can change, right? Okay, I'm a beacon, but haven't focused on marketing the way I'd like to attract my clients. Okay, so for you, Bettina, it's about like, how do I now become that beacon standing in my strengths, right? The lighthouse image is strong, right? It's a person standing in their strengths. It's a person that's attracting and not like running around, right? Like that image I had earlier with the woman with all the things. She's doing all the things, right? Like, oh, how do you even focus? I've done it though, so there's no judgment, okay? Um,
I
because
would,
I've done it. Do you want to share something, Bettina? Yes.
yes. So like, I know what my strengths are. Like I, and like, I work a full-time job as well as starting my business.
Okay.
So I'm having a challenge creating containers of time to focus on the marketing piece. Like
Mhm.
I haven't developed my marketing plan, even though I'm on podcasts. I'm on, you know, so I'm getting out there, but it's things are coming to me naturally, which I honor.
Yeah.
However, it's not like a plan that I could like when it's things aren't coming to me. Okay, I've got to get back to this in my marketing. So it's little things like that.
Okay. So what I'm hearing then for you, it's actually you are marketing. Okay. And if the results you're getting from your marketing are not consistent, okay, then the focus for you is on your mind.
Okay.
Okay. Because if the results are not matching your efforts, like if you told me, for instance, that I'm not marketing right now, or I market sometimes and then I stop marketing, then we want to be more consistent with that and work on why you're not marketing consistently. Okay. But then if you're saying, I'm doing this, sometimes I'm attracting clients, sometimes I'm not, then what is there? What is that subconscious mind? What is stopping you? And you may not know the answer now. I don't expect you, but maybe you'd have an aspect now. Do you have an idea?
Um, I I do. I know that there is like, well, I feel a lot of my ideal clients are on LinkedIn.
Okay.
I haven't announced that I'm have my coaching business because where I work, people are there and I don't want to give the wrong impression. So I know it's in my head
Yeah. Yes.
where I don't want my work on my job to be questioned, even though when I'm at work, it's only work. Right now is a lunch hour for me. That's why I'm
That's why you're
participating.
here. Okay.
Yes.
Mhm.
So it's that little thing of trust, like
Mhm.
trust. If I market myself, I don't want someone at my university to come at me and question my integrity, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yes. And so first, I mean, this is multi-layered. Okay. So one layer is what are the policies that work for you,
Mm-hmm.
and finding out if there's a conflict there. And if there's not, okay. Then the other aspect is, so what if they come at you?
Yeah.
What's the worst that's going to happen, right?
Mm,
And it's most likely first starting logical, and then it comes to like, oh, something. So um it's a powerful exercise for yourself to sit with that and to write. I would journal about it and say, well, what would happen next? Okay, if I marketed on LinkedIn visibly, more visible, if I was more visible, and then I get called out of not being in integrity by a client, then what would happen?
right.
And then what would happen? And
Right.
then what would happen? And then what would happen? And just like allow yourself to really explore till you get to like the bottom worst case scenario. Okay. And that is what's stopping you, is that deep seated fear of whatever comes at the end of that journaling. And so then
Ah,
you get to embrace that. Okay.
thank you. This is perfect because I'm giving myself a mini at home retreat this weekend to do inner work. So thank
Okay.
you.
Yes, love it. Okay, thank you. And if you want to share with me, I'm going to send a recording with this email. You'll have my email. You can say, "Oh, well, this came through. I'd love to hear."
Thank you.
Right. Thank you. All right. So that was wonderful. Okay. Yeah. I have another comment. I feel like I'm the light that attracts people in need. Yes. Yes. So attracting people in need. Oh, wait, it went all the way back, guys. Sorry about that. I probably pressed the wrong button. All right. So let's go back. We talked about all of this. We talked about this. We talked about this. All right. All right. So I want to end today with some common challenges, and then we'll put it together, and then I'll ask, then you get to ask more questions, just like Bettina did. If there's more, that was like an example of like some mini laser coaching. Okay. So what are some of the common challenges that occur when implementing these keys, when implementing these strategies, when going out and marketing your business? Okay. So one of the common challenges that I hear and see all the time, and I've experienced myself, is completely focusing on internal strategies or external strategies. For instance, I'm just going to work on myself, right? I'm going to work on my mindset only. I'm going to only work on that. And then, the clients will come, right? That's not what I'm talking about. You do need to take steps. Or you're just changing your external strategy. So I'm going to do this. Oh, that's not working. So I'm going to do this, and that's not working, right? So you just focus on that one of the things, but the combination is necessary for your success. The second thing is misaligned marketing. Okay, so I talked a little bit about that earlier. It's like you're taking part in marketing that really is in alignment with who you are and how you show up naturally. So I'm not saying not to do anything that's not hard for you. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. But for instance, doing this class for me, it is challenging. It puts me way out of my comfort zone. And it's something I love to do because I love to teach and help people, right? So you can see how it's out of my comfort zone, but is also something that is in my strengths. The other part is changing marketing too quickly. So I hear people, well, I've been posting on Instagram and I'm not getting the results. Well, let's look at that. Why are you not getting the results? What are the aspects? How are you marketing? What are the thoughts you have? So there's a lot of things to look at in what you're already doing before you just start switching, right? Then by staying with the marketing, you're able to really see what's underneath. And I love that what Bettina, thank you so much for sharing that. You said about the LinkedIn. It's like, yeah, I'm on, if you had just told me I'm posting on LinkedIn, or I'm not, but you kind of not are, you're not fully present on LinkedIn, right? So what is that about? Why are you not, right? And so we go deeper into that. Okay. And then of course we talked about the marketing to everyone. And I see that it's like that lighthouse running around the shore, trying to get everybody. And like, I just saw a video someone posted on LinkedIn. It was hilarious. If I can find it, I'll put it in the email with the recording. But it was about, that idea that you're doing things for your clients instead of letting them do it for themselves. You're guiding them, right? You can't do it for them. Okay, and so putting it all together, remember I talked about the roadmap, and I gave you a little bit of an idea where you pick where your gap is, and you kind of draw that first, and then you then underneath that are clear about what you need to work on. So which of these three things do you need to start with? And then you can add in the other things. Okay. And you're having a defined niche with all the aspects that I talked about, marketing that's aligned with your soul, and knowing your mind. All right. Once you have all this together, you know who you're marketing to, how to help your clients with their transformation, how to create your aligned marketing, and how to work with your mind so you can create your purposeful and profitable business. All right. So now I'm going to do what I promised, which is coaching, laser coaching. If you want to stay, like I'm kind of ending if you need to go with the actual teaching aspect, although I think there's so much value in hearing other people being coached. If you need to go for any reason, I totally understand. I'm going to put in the chat box my link if you want to book a call. I'd love to speak with you. The link will also be in the email with the recording. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And if you have some questions, it doesn't have to be coaching, but if you have any questions about what I've shared today, or anything that you want to ask, if you can just raise your hand. And if there's no one that wants to raise, oh, okay, Trisha, yes.
So, can you talk a little bit about the fees for your programs?
Oh, yes, thank you. I did not mention fees here. That's a great question. So the Hiding to Shining program, what I did not say is I've been working with clients mainly one-on-one. Okay. And so this is a group, and here's the link actually to the actual program. So I have that in the chat box for those of you that are interested. It'll also be sent out in the recording. And so this program, I'm offering it 6 months, and it's $4,397 for 6 months. And with that, you have lifetime access to the recordings. It includes the 90-minute one-on-one. And also, I have a vision board workshops that I'm giving for free. And, the group calls, we have 3 calls a month with group coaching. So you're not just getting recordings, you're working. And it also includes 2 one-on-one in addition to the 90-minute one-on-one.
Great, thank you.
Okay, sure. Yes, good question. Do you have any other questions?
Mm-mm.
All right, thank you, Trisha. Anybody else have questions?
I have a quick question, Kavita.
Yes.
So for your group coaching program, is there like, sorry, I'm trying to formulate my thought.
Mhm.
Are there people at, let's say, quote unquote, at different levels? Like, I already have my niche. I already know what I'd like to do.
Mhm.
Versus people who might be starting out brand new, don't know, resistant, all that stuff. I'm just curious how you kind of like help us all stay together and move forward at our own pace instead of holding somebody else or back or pulling people too far forward.
I love that question. Thank you for asking that question, because that's a concern that I often have when I've entered programs, right? I'm like, well, I already have this. So if I enter this, does that mean that I'm going to have to, wait till the people in the program catch up? Okay. Or vice versa, right? So I have, even though this is my inaugural group program in my personal business, I have actually worked for other coach programs and coached groups and run groups. Okay. So I know how to do that, and I know how to make sure that each person is able to receive value from that based on where they're at. Okay. So you will have access to, like, so for instance, let's say we work together and you're like, I already have my niche. I don't need that. And you need to start with like the 3rd chakra, right? So then you would have access to those trainings. And then when you come to the call, the questions you have would have access, would be about those, right? And even though other people may not be in the same kind of exact place, it will help. Just the questions that we ask whenever I've been in a group, and I've been in groups and ran groups for half of my business, I've been running groups. I always receive from other people's questions some insights, and then also am able to ask my questions and receive support. So hopefully that's helpful. That answers your question.
Yes, thank you. And I apologize. I have to run to a meeting, but it
Yeah,
was a
no
pleasure.
problem.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. And like I said, I will send the recording out. So if you have further questions, if you hear something, you can always contact me. But thank you for coming.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Right. Any more questions today? All right, good. All right. So going once. All right. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate all of you for showing up live. I know how valuable time is. this time of year, especially for a lot of people, it's full. Thank you, Trisha. I'm glad you got a lot of the meeting. I hope all of you received something of value today. And like I said, I will be sending out the recording. And in the recording, there'll be a link to the program if you want to find out more. There'll also be a link to book a call if you want. And if not, you just listen to the recording. And then finally, one last thing, if you want to continue to learn, I do have a podcast that I put out weekly with content. They're shorter trainings. I keep my podcast under 20 minutes every week. It is called Aligned and Soulful Success. It is available wherever you can find podcasts. And if you can't find it, just contact me and I'll send you a link. Thank you all so much for coming today, and take good care. Bye.